What's up everybody, Craig Powell from GeekWishLists.com, and I'm here with another video review for the Loot Crate. Now Loot Crate's been around for a while, so chances are if you're a fan of this channel and the content that we put out, you probably have heard of Loot Crate. But hey, maybe you haven't, or maybe you tried it in the past and you decided it wasn't for you. But that's part of what we do here, right? We want to talk about the things that are available, the options you have as a collector and a fan to kind of, enjoy your fandom and your passion for that fandom. So we're going to talk about Loot Crate today. I have one to review here. There's obviously lots of different choices with Loot Crate. There's always new stuff coming out. There's a lot of different things they've been trying. So you can never really go wrong. But we're going to talk about the pros and cons of being with Loot Crate. Here we go. Alright, so Loot Crate, as I said, it's been around for a while. You probably are familiar with them. They've got a lot of different choices now. They started out with just kind of one box, and then they, over time, have added on to that whenever they saw that there was probably an audience there to kind of spit out with that. They still have their their flagship product, if you will, which is their just general monthly gamer geek box, where they pick a variety of different things and kind of put them in there. So it's a little bit of a kind of a grab bag where it's not necessarily all one particular franchise or one particular theme, but they are loosely pulled together, maybe with a sci-fi theme pulled from different properties, but a true variety, more than some of the other focused ones. Focused boxes like maybe if you've watched our video talking about the Smuggler's Bounty from Funko and Star Wars, that one obviously is focused just on that, but with Loot Crate you get a little bit of variety pulled from a lot of different things. If you'd like to go check out their site, that's really the best way, because like I said, there's a lot of different choices. We're not going to go in depth on all of them because there's just a lot. We'd have to make a lot of videos. But you can use our handy link that we've made for you, which is geeklink.live/Loot Crate. We'll also put that at the bottom of the screen and in the comments, geeklink.live/Loot Crate. That link will work always for you to be able to find out what the latest stuff is and get the best deals from our partner over at Loot Crate. So we're going to talk about this one that just came out about a month or so ago. And this one was an interesting one because sometimes they go with standard stuff that you would expect a geek-themed box to have, but sometimes they go with some fandoms that don't always get a lot of love, ones that are a little bit more harder to find. They're not saturated like the Star Wars or the Game of Thrones or those types of properties where there's always new stuff coming out, lots of stuff everywhere you look. But with Loot Crate, sometimes they'll do some exciting ones like that. So I picked up the last one because it had a Dungeons and Dragons theme to it, which is something kind of cool. Again, you don't always get those kinds of properties in there. So we're going to take a look at it so you can see kind of what that looks like and get a feel for Loot Crate and decide if that's something that you want to add to your monthly collecting regimen, if you will. So the Loot Crate always usually comes in boxes like this. They may vary in size and thickness, but generally speaking they're going to come about in a box like this. One of the cool things about the boxes, and I'll show you a little bit more after we open it up, is that the boxes themselves can be turned also into display pieces, or they pop out, like pieces of the cardboard of the box will pop out, and so you can almost do like a craft type thing. Maybe it goes along with what the theme was. Maybe you put it up next to the stuff that you've collected. So it's just kind of a cool thing. Instead of having to throw the box away, you have the option to use it also as an extra little bit of goodness. So that's something that I think is pretty cool about Loot Crate and how they do it. So, alright, we're going to open this Loot Crate box here with the Dungeons and Dragons theme. Alright, so first thing out of the box is, again, this is where I say they had a theme. They specifically said that Dungeons & Dragons was the lead-in thing, but we didn't get stuff that was purely Dungeons & Dragons. This is both a positive and a negative a little bit with me, in my opinion, because you buy a blind box, supposedly focused on one thing, and then you get it and there's some stuff that isn't exactly what you thought was coming in the box. Again, sometimes that's good because it's a surprise, right? And you get to see things, have some things in your collection that you wouldn't have gone and sought out yourself, but you get them and they're a pleasant surprise. Sometimes that can be maddening if you were wanting all of the items in the box to be that theme. So, leave that up to you. Just know if you subscribe to Loot Crate, it can be some good surprises, it can be some maybe maddening things. That's all I'll say about that. But right out of the gate, it includes a t-shirt. Most of the time, Loot Crate, they're pretty good about having some clothing item, t-shirts or socks. T-shirts are usually good. I've got a lot of different shirts from Loot Crate that I've gotten over the years. And you know, they're good quality for a shirt for what you'd expect to get as part of the price that you pay for the box. I like them, and so for the Dungeons and Dragons box, it actually that's what this one was a Dungeons and Dragons type shirt. We'll post photos of this on the site as well. But it's essentially sort of like a pop-out. It's supposed to look like the plastic tabs where, like, when you buy a board game and the board game pieces are inside the plastic and you have to pop them out of the little tabs. That's what it looks like, and it has like all of the items that you would need in order to play. So it's kind of a cool little thing. A lot of times the shirts are subtle, which is kind of nice. You know, you wear it casually. If somebody recognizes it, you're like, hey, you know what you're talking about. That's awesome. So that was the shirt for it. It also included Fallout Fortune Finder perk. So again, this is what I'm talking about. It's really more of like fantasy gaming was really more the theme, even though it was kind of advertised to be specifically D&D. But that's kind of more of a general theme of the stuff that you actually got. So we've got just a little vinyl figure from Fallout. It's got a base that comes with it. Fortune Finder figure from Fallout. That was an item in there. We got a Escape from New York little poster. Just a little 8.5 by 11 sized poster of Escape from New York. Again, you know, random, a little bit random with the box, but that's cool because Escape from New York, that's awesome. So we got that. This came out around the time Bumblebee was in theaters, and so I think part of Loot Crate's model is, of course, they're going to turn around and get some of the items donated or paid for or sponsored by properties that are investing because a new movie's coming out or some kind of things going on where they want to advertise that. So with this one, we had a couple of Bumblebee themed things in there. This is actually kind of a cool one. So it looks like an old school cassette boombox on the front, but then we can open it up here and it actually has pins, as in lapel type pins inside here. So it's a card that opens up and we actually get the bug and Transformers symbol and then Bumblebee there. So kind of a cool one. So many things that I've collected over the years have pins, and it's not that I necessarily have a collection focusing on pins, but I've acquired so many and so many random ones. It's sort of turned into a fun little thing, and then I'll get then collectible lanyards or something and clip all the pins on them, and they make a nice little, just hang them somewhere, and it's kind of just an extra little flair for your collection. So that was in the box too. Pins from Bumblebee. We got a Lost in Space from the Netflix series Lost in Space. Again, another pin, and it has sort of a glass or jeweled look in the middle where it's like you're staring into space there. You get a variety of some coupons or advertisements where they're upselling for other services inside there, and sometimes those are good, sometimes they're not. And then the other thing that you get is always some kind of a booklet. Sometimes it takes the form of a story or a comic book. In this particular instance, it's just talking about each item, how it was made, who made it, sort of the backstory of what it is, and then advertisements for the other Loot Crate. So that was the items inside of the Loot Crate box, but as I mentioned, I want to talk about the box itself because that's kind of a display piece too. So for this one, sticking again with the Bumblebee theme, Transformers Bumblebee, the box has artwork on the inside featuring Bumblebee. Then you'll notice here at the top it's actually perforated, so you can tear this out and fold it down into a bug. So it looks like the car after you fold it down. So again, it's kind of a functional little extra thing that you can do with the box in lieu of throwing it away into the dumpster. Another one in the past, a few times ago, around the time I think Avengers Infinity War came out last year, the box actually was a gauntlet. You could pop it out and the cardboard would make the gauntlet, which is kind of a cool thing. So I give props to Loot Crate for that. So there you go. That's pretty representative, I think, of the standard Loot Crate. Little bit of a true mystery in that you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you assume you're going to get more of a particular thing, and then maybe you don't. But, you know, at $15 for the Loot Crate plus shipping, it's not a huge thing to kind of be surprised. The prices vary depending on which one you get. They have just their standard one. They also do one they call Loot Remix, which is older items. So they take the pulls of whatever items they have left over from previous boxes and they will ship it. I will say, to be fair as a critique, some of those, sometimes the shipping is not fast. It says it's going to ship at a certain time and it's sometimes off by a month. I don't know what's going on with Loot Crate. Maybe it's just high demand. I don't really know, but I want to be honest with my audience and tell you guys that just be prepared that sometimes the time it takes before you actually get the item after you pay for it can be the next month. So there's a little bit of a delay there. One of the things I noticed Loot Crate's been doing, especially over the last year, is starting to come out with a little bit bigger crates with bigger price tags, but they are focused specifically on certain fandoms, and they're not intended to be always ongoing forever. They're more like they're going to be 3 fixed shipments, and whenever you start it, you get the first one, and then it's every other month until you have all of them, if it's 3 or if it's 5, and that's it. And they're probably going to be limited edition in that they're not always going to have them. And they're focusing, some of the cool ones they have out right now are for Deadpool. They have one for Lord of the Rings. They're going to get into the Star Wars thing and have a Star Wars one that's going to be coming out, I believe, in March of 2019. So they've got some cool ones there. They are a little bit more pricey in the $50 to $60 range. So the items, I mean, hopefully that means then that the items will be, you know, that much better since you're spending more money, but we'll wait to see. If I do one of the mega crates, I will definitely do a review of that one to let you know if it's worth spending the money on. So thank you for watching the video. Again, if you want to check out Loot Crate, make sure you use our link, geeklink.live/Loot Crate, and you can check out all they have to offer. Let us know in the comments if you've gotten Loot Crate before, if it's something you've been happy with, if you stopped getting it because of issues. You know, we'd really like to hear from you, so make sure you comment, like, subscribe, join our channel for all the content we put out about gaming and comics and sci-fi and all the geeky goodness, and we'll help you find something that you can geek out about. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.